listening to the Fantasy Files pregame show with Dillon Busby. Follow him on the Twitter at DillonBusby1. Email all your fantasy questions and comments to First and Goal Podcast at yahoo.com, and you'll make the show live, and Dillon will answer all of your questions. Again, that's First and Goal Podcast at yahoo.com. Follow the show on Twitter at First and Goal Pod. Follow the guys at UPJ33 at Steak and Cheese. And again, Dillon at DillonBusby1.
So turn your back on the wolf pack. You might wind up in a body bag. You took your chances. Now it's time to show you we're wrong. In the ring, this is for all you sucks that strong. Day in, day out, the wolf pack for life.
That's why I'm easy. Easy like Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning.
Ready, we ready, we ready for y'all. We ready,
Hello and welcome, First and Goalers. Welcome, Fantasy World, to the Fantasy Files pregame show. It is Saturday, November 16th, 10 o'clock p.m. We are doing a special Saturday night fever edition of the Fantasy Files pregame show where we go through all the matchups on Sunday. We let you know about fantasy analysis, and at the end of it all, we're going to tell you who's going to win the game or at least cover. With me, as always, is our producer, Jay.
What's up, everybody? I'm a wounded warrior.
And joining
today.
us, yeah, we have two Wounded Warriors with us today. Jay apparently has Emmanuel Sanders-esque rib injury. And Dave, how are you feeling?
When you say Saturday Night Fever, it's called Dave Has a Fever. Sinus and chest infection, folks, but I'm still hauling on for the show. So you can hear my stuffed up nose and my cat noises.
Thank God
That's
we
right,
don't
folks.
all share a studio together.
Yeah, thank God
I
for
would
that.
sneeze on your mics all day long.
That's right.
It's
The
so
Packers.
gross.
The Packers are on bye week, so it's only fitting that you two would be sick and feeling injured to miss this one. Luckily, you can just cozy up and watch the Red Zone channel tomorrow.
No. I don't think you understand. I didn't say I finished my roof. I have to go up there tomorrow and finish it.
There's
I
a little
was up
tough
there
guy
in the
thing.
dark slipping around, and I couldn't see anymore, so I just put a couple of screws in the one of the second to last pieces to hold it for the night,
So,
and
in the
cozied
dark,
my way
you were
down
slipping
in
and
the
sliding
dark.
on a roof?
Well,
Did the
it's
police
all
get called on
steel.
you?
It's no, and I had a big jumpsuit on too, so I looked like I was trying to burglarize my home through the shitter tube.
Poor man's Santa Claus right there.
That's right.
Wow, yeah. Just like the one in Friday After Next.
It's Bad Santa. That's what it is. He's Bad Santa.
No, you have no idea.
Do you have an African American midget that runs around as an elf with you, or no?
No midgets.
Uh,
There is a guy that doesn't have any legs that lives across the street.
He counts.
Okay.
All
don't
right,
make me
fellas.
laugh, man, damn, ouch. All right,
well,
go
guys,
ahead.
it's week 11. There are plenty of teams making their playoff push. There are plenty of teams making their push for the number one overall draft pick in 2020, which miraculously enough is only about 2 months away. I can't believe we're that close. But here
I
we
have
are.
news on that.
Hit me.
Tua, who was projected the possible number one overall draft pick, has dislocated his hip and broken the outer wall of his hip, folks. He has a fracture in it, so it looks like he's out for the rest of the season. BCS, playoffs, and it looks like he might go into next season as well. So if I was him, I'd stay at Bama one more year just to rehab and then go on the draft. Wouldn't even play.
Oh,
I'll say this, I'm a little too young.
For Tua again. That sucks.
So,
yeah, people were saying this was similar to the hip injury that Bo Jackson sustained.
Yep.
So definitely keep your eyes on that. It's looking more and more like Joe Burrow is going to run away with the Heisman and #1 overall draft pick next year.
After tonight's performance, was he have 4 touchdowns tonight?
Yeah, against the old Rebels.
Yeah, you know what? They're keeping up with him somewhat, but it's not a game where you'd want to be like, ooh, it's just Ole Miss being Ole Miss, make it interesting, and then they lose.
Yeah, I mean, as we speak, you've got the Baylor Bears up 31-17 on Oklahoma right now, so we'll see how that shakes out.
Well, they just turned over the ball after giving up a touchdown, Dillon. It's about to be 24-31 here soon.
But, guys, in the NFL this week, we have your Green Bay Packers, the New York Giants, Seattle Seahawks, and Tennessee Titans all on a bye. So we might as well start off with one of the more anticipated 1 o'clock games this week when the Baltimore Ravens play host to those Houston Texans, a rematch of the college matchup back in the day, Louisville versus Clemson, Deshaun Watson versus Lamar Jackson, what everyone's been waiting to see. As of right now, your Baltimore Ravens are favored by 4.5 points, a 51.5 point over-under. We're expecting some points to be scored, and apparently we're expecting the Ravens to win this one. Guys, I know there's going to be lots of fantasy points to be had in this one, in spite of Will Fuller being ruled out of this matchup with a hamstring injury. It was looking like earlier in the week Fuller was getting some limited work in. We might be able to see him this week, but not the case. It's going to be DeAndre Hopkins and Kenny Stills back at it. Guys, I don't know about you, but I am feeling an upset with this one in Houston.
You know what? This might be the game of the year right here, because Watson is playing at a high level, Jackson's playing at a high level, the defenses are a little lower end in the league. I really think this is just going to be like the Chiefs-Rams game last year, offensive shootouts. But I don't know. I can't pick over Lamar right now. Lamar's been killing it. He just took down the big ugly in the AFC. I think Houston's definitely competitive enough to stay in this game, but I don't know if they can overtake them.
I could see this being very similar to the Niners-Seahawks matchup we just witnessed last week. You had a lot of fumbles by the quarterback. You had a lot of interceptions thrown, turned into a real defensive slugfest, and I could easily see that happening this week. Yes, the Texans are weak against the wide receiver, but when you look at the offensive side of the ball for the Ravens, it's not exactly like, Miles Boykin, Willie Snead have been tearing it up. You've seen Hollywood Brown here and there, but mostly the Ravens like to hit their tight ends, Mark Andrews specifically. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a really good game. I do think you're going to see a lot of Carlos Hyde and Mark Ingram in this game, gross as that may be. And this is just going to be a back-and-forth battle. Who makes the least mistakes? Maybe even who
Carlos
has the ball
Hyde has
last.
700 yards rushing this year. Don't be mean to him.
Right now, Ravens are a 4.5 point favorite.
It's going to come down to a field goal, I think. It really will.
I mean, you look at the way they handled the Patriots at home. I could definitely see it being a similar game script, and you got Houston coming off of a bye, a little extra time to prepare. I'm definitely looking forward to this one, but I'm still taking the Texans. I'm still taking that Watson magic. Ravens defense has been fantastic ever since acquiring Marcus Peters and getting Jimmy Smith back healthy. You stick Marlon Humphrey in the slot, and they've been a pretty dang good secondary, but I'm still looking forward to Watson being the magician.
Yeah,
somehow
Hopkins is still
yes,
there.
Exactly. That guy catches the ball with both hands tied behind his back, and I don't know how he does it.
Catches it with his cheeks. Not the good kind either.
Yeah, so it's amazing. Like I said, I'm expecting plenty of Carlos Hyde in this one, plenty of Mark Ingram, probably even some Gus Edwards. But yeah, I like the Texans to win it at the end of this one. Give me Give me 31-28, and they barely. Well, I guess they wouldn't be covering because they're not even favored. But give me the Texans, 31-28.
Ooh. I'm going to go 41-38. I'm going the next step above. I have to. The offenses are so powerful here. I mean, and like I said, each QB's playing at a high level. God, I mean, do you know what? So hard to pick against Lamar right now, but Lamar also drops games against like the Browns earlier in the season too, and that was a dud. I mean, and we all see the nightmare the Browns were last Thursday night. Just saying. Hey, whoa! Did I just get an Italian FU over the webcam?
I think you did.
Jeez, feel like I have to go watch my back when I go out in public now. I'm going to go Houston. I'm going to go Houston 41-40. Wins it by a field goal. By one, they don't get the spread.
Jay, you want to know who won last week? Going back to that formula?
Hell no. I was really exhausted back then. That was a one and done thing. It's been all.
Can we count how many fail horns you're going to give me tonight?
That could be a thing if you're listening live. How about you take a drink every time Dave gets a fail horn?
That wasn't a fail horn. It's 41-40. Texans, baby.
Oh, and by the way, speaking of drinks, my rib hurts.
Give yourself a fail horn.
That's my beer.
For that. Is it?
All right, back to the game at hand here.
Well, it tastes the hangover with that Keystone.
Keystone Light. It's deliciously good. Magically delicious. Yay! I got the Ravens 38-21. You can't stop Lamar, and this defense is going to stymie that Houston offense and just beat the crap out of Mr. Watson. He might be the better quarterback, Dave, but you admitted the better all-around player. And let's be real, we're not taking running out of this, so the better player of the two is still Lamar Jackson. Thank you very much. And that makes me the lone wolf.
Go ahead, howl it up.
That's me.
All right, guys. Moving on to the next matchup, we have the Detroit Lions taking on those disgusting, gross Dallas Cowboys. Lions at home, still not a favorite. Dallas currently favored by 7 points. You've got Matthew Stafford already ruled out of this one. There should be a heavy workload for Ezekiel. Yeah, heavy workload for Ezekiel Elliott. Lions currently the second worst team defending the running back in the league. I'm expecting to see a lot of Ezekiel Elliott in this one.
Well, we'll see on that. I mean, the offensive coordinator for Dallas doesn't know what happens. Mrs. Busby.
Shout out to Mrs. Busby, just getting home from a long day's work.
So, yeah. No, I think Kellen Moore. She has to put up with Dillon's crap.
Raise the roof. She gets the crowd noise and cheer.
Especially a guy who dresses like he's a grandmother with a sham around his shoulders.
Yeah, I don't get up. It's a little distracting. Kind of like Dave's thing the other day. Like, you literally look like that grandma from that one dog where the dog is always scared and running around. It's got the two old people that run around. It was on Cartoon Network. My kids used to watch it. Like
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yes, Courage the Cowardly Dog. That's it. You nailed it, sir. Thank you very much.
You want some candy?
Well, Jay, you changed your profile pic to Cam, so I figured I would just try to be the human embodiment of Cam right now on our live
Camilla Newton. How dare you? She has her own fashion line.
I lost a bet to Tony of the C3 Panther podcast, and so I paid up on it. It's not like it's even bothering me.
Were you about to say C3PO?
Yeah, I actually almost did. I almost said C3PO Panthers podcast.
You know what? Out of that rabbit hole, I got to go ahead and mention this. Kellen Moore has not seemed to call a correct game plan to date for the Dallas Cowboys. So, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked to see Detroit come out and go up 10-0 here and then Dallas climb back out of it because that's what they've done in every single game.